Good morning. I thought I'd just check in on day 2 of practitioner training. There's no one here yet bar me and Matt who's helping out. This is the training room. You can have a quick look around. I just wanted to talk about day 1 really. We had a really great first day of the training yesterday, and it's really always nice to see people coming into the training. They don't know what to expect, and through the day they settle in, and I get the chance to set the tone for the whole training, expectations, etc. And the students get the chance to adjust to a new way of processing and a new way of thinking through the day. We actually finished early yesterday because by 6:30 everyone was shattered. We usually work till 7 o'clock, but if needs must we will finish a little bit early. I basically had all the juice out of them and there was nothing left by 6:30, so we had a little bit of an early finish. Really good day. What did we cover yesterday? We talked a lot about labels. On day 1 there's a lot of space for things to come up that are relevant to the group. So somebody asked about labels, and we had a discussion about labels. We talk about how labels can be unhelpful sometimes, how they can put somebody in a box. If somebody labels you, you may welcome that label. You may say, at least now I know who I am, that's me, I'll put myself in that box quite willingly. Or you might not be so willing, but you might end up in the box anyway. And the nature of that label is that if you live up to it, it will limit you, because you might do what it says, but you won't do what it doesn't say. So everything beyond the label won't be okay to you if you live as if you're limited by the label. So we talked a lot about that yesterday, and as a result, through the day, I saw people doing things that they would have considered out of character before the first day. It was really nice to see people do things that they didn't think, that's not me, I don't normally do that. That was the feedback that we got through day 1, was I've just done something that I didn't think was in my nature to do, something that I normally struggle with. And that's a result of taking the label off and being able to stretch beyond the boundaries that the label was previously limiting. So that was one part of yesterday. We reviewed the coursework, the pre-study that people do before they come, and that's always a really useful thing to do, because when you look at something from one angle, you get an insight, and then you join it from another angle, you look at it from another angle, and you get another insight. And there's no such thing as, I've got that, I'm done with it now. The more you look at it, the more insights you get, and the more you understand it and connect it up with your other understanding. So there's a review aspect of day 1, a review of the pre-study, and that's always a really useful thing to do. And people always say, I listened to this and I got stuff from it, and now here today I'm getting different stuff from the same material. And then through the afternoon, we gave people a chance to review their goals for the practitioner training, because if you're going to come and learn how to help people set goals, you might as well set some good goals for yourself and have a useful experience of working towards those goals on the training. So we did some goal setting. It was a chance for people to review goals they've set for themselves for the training. And an interesting thing happens when you join up and work with somebody else on goals. So even though we had people in the room who are used to working with goals for themselves, once they got the help of somebody else to review those goals and look at them, they got fresh insights from a new person's perspective, and a couple of people discovered that their goals were not what they thought they were. So a couple of people got a chance to change their goals yesterday, which is a really useful thing to do, and a huge time-saving exercise as well, because much better to change your goal at the start, before you've started working really hard towards it, before you've put in all the hard work to achieve it. If your goal is not the right goal, much better to find out at the beginning before you've wasted all that time and energy. Because achieving a goal and then discovering that it's not the right goal is a little bit late in the process. So it's really useful to spend a short amount of time at the start really bulletproofing those goals and making sure that they're the right goals for the person, making sure the goals are meaningful to the person. And another thing that came through the feedback yesterday was how important it is to allow people to express their own goals and their own motivations in their own way. How important it is to help people find their own way through a problem to solution, because what you think might work for the person could be completely different to what actually will work for them, because they've got a completely different operating system running in their mind. So we saw that in practice yesterday, and some of the practitioners got to have that direct experience. I'm a big fan of letting my practitioners experience and learn this stuff for themselves, because again, they learn it in a way that's much more relevant to them. So I'm really a big fan of giving learning experiences, learning opportunities. And this is one of the things that came out of yesterday, was how important it is to allow someone to find their own way through the change process, with cues, with hints and with tips, of course, for time efficiency and for really effective change. But when you allow the person to make their own connections, they make the absolutely right connections for them. So that's my resume of day one. I'm going to check in quite regularly through this 4-day training, give you some updates. So if you're interested, if you'd like to know a bit more about what practitioner training is all about, or perhaps you've trained elsewhere and you'd like to get a little bit of a contrast, a compare and contrast, okay? You can check in. I'll be live at least a couple of times through these next few days. But I'm going to go now because it's time for me to get a cup of tea before everyone else arrives, and we'll be kicking off promptly at 9:30. So I'll catch up with you soon, and thanks for watching.